First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect of Israel. Today's topic is going to be kind of revolving around leprosy, which in the Bible is described as a disease. Well, it is a disease, and many believe it's boils or patches, which it can be, but many times in the Bible it describes it as being pale skin. And this is going to go to show that pale skin being a curse, most of the prophets, or if not all the prophets, I'm going to say that all the prophets and the Messiah, which you can read about the Messiah in Revelations 1:14 to 15, what he looks like. He looks like a dark-skinned man. This goes to show that the people in the Bible are not pale. They're not white-skinned. They have darkish skin, dark brown. And this is kind of just common sense you can gather in general. I mean, there's literally precepts talking about them whitewashing all these artifacts and these icons and all that. I'll get that too, as a matter of fact. I'll put that in. Bear with me for a second. Alright. So first we're going to start off with Genesis chapter 4, which goes way to the beginning. Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. So he killed him. He killed his brother Abel in the field. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. I'm going to stop right there for a second. Reincarnation's in the Bible. That's something you need to understand. I'm going to do a lesson on that eventually. It's in the Bible. It only makes sense. If you understand the scriptures, you'll know that. But so reincarnation is real, and it's believed that's the only conclusion you can make is Cain is Esau in the reincarnation, because Esau in Genesis 25 is described as having a lack of pigmentation, which ties in with this. He's the only one, really. So most of the so-called white people come from Esau, from the nation of Edom, but not all of them, because if your father's lineage goes back to a different nation, then that's the nation you are. It goes to the father's seed. So there's going to be so-called white people that are Israelites that just look like that from mixing, which in my previous lesson I did on confusion of faces and how mixing with other nations is bad, and that's what we did, and we transgressed the law and we got cursed for it. That was a topic I did last video, so you can check that out. So anyways, the Edomites are vagabonds. The original Europeans were dark-skinned. Apparently they even stole the caves from the Amorites. So they're vagabonds. They have no real home. And they are fugitives. There's criminals. They kill and conquer and do everything, absolutely vile and wicked. And I have a precept proving that as well, because they're in rulership right now, as you speak, or as I speak, I should say. Verse 13, and Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. So he set a mark upon Cain. What do you think that mark is? How can they distinguish him from everybody else? He gave him leprosy, man. He gave him pale skin. Because if everybody's dark and you know, and you see all of a sudden this pale guy, you're not used to seeing that. I mean, that's a sign that you should leave him alone. Because you don't want to get that yourself. Or they wouldn't. And there's more precepts proving that. Yeah, I'll stop right there. Now I'm going to get Exodus chapter 4. Verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. This is Moses. And he said again, Put thine hand into thine bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. So the rest of his body. So his hand changed, and it was turned pale, white as snow. And then he put it back into his chest, and he pulled it out, and it was like the rest of his skin again. That's actually all I needed, that. And now going with Moses again, with Miriam in Numbers. This is Numbers chapter 12, verse 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, Heal her now, O Yahawah, I beseech thee. Is that, yeah, that's all I got to get. Oh, here, I'll read this one too. And the Lord said unto Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. So shame, she's shamed because she has leprosy. So that proves that it's not a good thing, and Aaron called it dead flesh. Half dead. That's not something you want to have. Now I'll go to 1 Maccabees 3 and 48 to show you why all these icons and all these movies are pale people, the so-called Edomites, or not so-called, the Edomites of the Bible, so-called white people, I mean, because they are the biblical Edomites, most of them. And they're clearly in rulership right now. That's undeniable. That's not even debatable. This is 1 Maccabees, which is in the Old Testament, the Apocrypha, chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So they painted over these icons and they whitewashed them. They make these movies, like this one coming out, or that came out with Samson. He had locks. He was a dark-skinned, buff, so-called Negro today. He was from the tribe of Dan, I'm pretty sure. He was supposed to be dark. So I don't know why they have these different Bible shows, and some of them have dark-skinned people with pale people. Some of them just have pale people. None of them are accurate. Unless you have leprosy, then you shouldn't be pale during that time. More than likely you shouldn't be, because that's a cursed leprosy. Now I'm going to get Job 9 and 24 to show you that the people ruling the planet, ruling the earth in the rulership seat are, well, in a previous lesson I read that Edom is noted as the border of wickedness. So they do wickedly, they do wicked things. They go about their lives wickedly. So I'm going to get this Job. Pretty sure I have it memorized, but I'm just going to read it. Just got to get to it. Bear with me. Chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So it's saying that the people in rulership are the wicked, which are the biblical Edomites, so-called white people. And it says he covered the faces of the judges thereof, which what he's saying is he covers the faces of all these icons and makes it look like he's been, the superior race this whole time, which is completely the opposite. He was put in that top rulership seat because we were disobedient. Every heathen nation really got a chance to rule over us. They all are ruling over us right now. But they're the wicked. And then it goes on to say, if not, where and who is he? So it's saying, if it's not them, those Edomites, then who is it? Kind of saying like a remark, like there's nobody else that it could possibly be. So with that said, hopefully this was, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. Call, hello, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, Yahawah, rawchaa, qadash, barak, athah. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom.